My last video was all about INTJs and the problematic nature about INTJs, coming from an INTJ myself. That's the personality type that I got tested for after taking the Myers-Briggs personality test. So that was what inspired the content of that video. But in today's video, I want to get into what I find to be annoying traits within ENFPs. Because as an INTJ, I tend to attract the personality type a lot into my life, whether it's friendships or romantic interests. So these are just common themes that I've picked up within this personality type. Obviously, all opinion, don't hold too much weight into what I have to say. This is just based off my own lived experience, and each individual is, unique and different in their own way. So I don't mean to generalize, but this is just what I've noticed and what I wish to share. So the first trait being that I find that ENFPs can be a little bit too idealistic, especially when it comes to romantic relationships. A lot of girlfriends that I have that are ENFPs, they'll purposely overlook the red flags within a person and just run with their emotions and literally be blinded by this overwhelming sense of love, or what they think is love at the moment, and choose to not look at the red flags about that person. As an INTJ, I'm very particular in the type of mate that I want. If there's one little thing that is concerning, then I'm like, I get very disinterested very fast, even if they're attractive, even if, there's some sort of chemistry. If on paper there's something that isn't quite right, or they have a shady past, or they, I don't know, what's a red flag? They treat servers bad, then it's enough to disinterest me and put a bad taste in my mouth. But I feel like for ENFPs, they really just run with their feelings and just don't even care about the red flags because they're seeing this person through rose-colored glasses. But that means that they end up getting hurt in the end, and they, they run to you. They're like, oh, they don't understand how it happened. But they were just too involved and too emotionally invested, I should say. So that's the first thing, is being a little too idealistic when it comes to love. But this is a trait that I also envy, so I feel like it is something that I find annoying because they are giving that person the benefit of the doubt, and I feel like we should all, in some way, shape, and form, aspire to be more like that, right? Seeing the good in people, whereas INTJs can be a little bit more pessimistic towards outcomes and, the future, because we're really hard on ourselves. So it is a trait that could be beneficial, but with romantic relationships and ignoring red flags, not so much. So the second thing that I want to say is that I feel like ENFPs, I keep stuttering on the personality type. We're only talking about ENFPs. I feel like ENFPs can be a bit too in the moment, to where it can get annoying trying to plan something with them. Now, like I said in my last video, having a relationship with an ENFP is beneficial in that they teach you to appreciate the present moment and go with the flow, but sometimes they go too much with the flow, to where it can get annoying to have them make a commitment to a plan that you have set in stone and that you want them to set in stone, because they go wherever the wind blows, and they really don't like to commit to something until it's the day of, or okay, the plan has been presented to them right in front of their face at that very moment. Then they'll commit, because then they feel more comfortable doing it last minute because they don't have any other options they could weigh out. Because I feel like for them, they flake a lot because something better comes up in the present moment, and to them it is more advantageous or seems more fun. So then they'll completely just flake on whatever you have set in stone, and it could be annoying. So they're bad planners. They don't like to plan things out in advance. So that could be annoying about ENFPs. Another thing that I find to be annoying about ENFPs is that they really can be forgetful, because they like to be the center of attention, and because they're big talkers and socializers, they're not the best listeners. And so when you're trying to bring up something that has happened to you, or you're referring to something that has been discussed previously, they're not very good at recalling those details, because a lot of the times, I find that, the more immature types, they like to hear the sound of their own voice and really just have the center of attention be on them. So that could be annoying too. And with that, I want to say that it can be annoying always needing to be there for them socially because they get energy with socialization. And as an INTJ, my energy is depleted if I'm around people for too much. I get my energy recharged, my battery recharged, I should say, when I'm in solitude. I really need that moment of being alone. I like to spend my time alone. I feel at peace when I'm alone. I love my own company, but it's always baffled me and confused me how the extroverted personality types, they just can't be with their own company and they don't enjoy their own company. They always need to be around people and in a group setting in order to be at homeostasis. And I just can't wrap my head around that because that's not how I operate and how I feel at peace with myself. I really don't. And at the end of the day, we only have ourselves. So it really is puzzling to me how a personality type can't enjoy their own company and be alone and always need to be interacting with other people. So it can be annoying when they want too much from you in that way, needing to be in your presence and you like need to recharge. So it's just a matter of, I feel like, learning how to say no and prioritizing your own needs and not running yourself too thin. Is that the phrase? I think that's the phrase. Running yourself dry, spreading yourself out too thin. That's it. But these are what I find the main themes within ENFPs: forgetfulness, needing to socialize a little bit too much, being a little too in the moment, making them bad planners, and the first one, being a little too idealistic, especially when it comes to romantic relationships. But all of them have a positive twist, and I touched on the positive twists within each of those traits that I find annoying. So, it really is just all based on opinion, and if anything, more of a reflection of how I wish I could be, but because I'm not, it does bother me a bit. So I hope that you found something good within this video. And if you are an INTJ, let me know what you find annoying within ENFPs, if you have experience with them in your life. And if you're an ENFP, tell me something you find annoying about yourself, maybe, or something that you find annoying about INTJs. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much.